Let's talk about building your virtual staff. I have over 40 VAs, and I guess I have over closer to 50 if we count our virtual assistants or virtual staff in the US. Interesting. All right, let's get right into this one. I'm Tristan. Welcome to your daily real estate. This one's going to be fun because I think the world's changing around us with AI, but not so much that you shouldn't hire staff. You should just be aware that the staff you hire, whoever they are, especially if they're VAs, right? Virtual staff. Isn't that VA? Look, virtual staff, they need to be using AI a lot more. So let's just start with number one. Number one, and I do have a list. If you need this, please message me on Instagram or YouTube. I'll give this to you. It's a quick outline. It's not a lot. And more importantly, in the description, you're going to find the new newsletter link to join the newsletter that I am running now weekly. It's all of the things you should be focused on for prospecting. Jump in. It's free. Once a week. Step one, list the repeat jobs. It's easier said than done. And I remember the very first time I got a VA, I did terrible. And the second time, by the way. So I'd recommend that you write down every task that steals your time. Data entry, email sorting, some social posts, lead follow-up, some lead follow-up, not all, CMAs, scheduling, that type of stuff. And then if it's something like a CMA, make sure that you're still doing the end look on it because it does require your eyes. For example, if I am deciding to hire somebody for social media and they're going to edit my video, create the thumbnails, and then the description, and they're going to use AI to do part of that, it still comes to me and I still have to review it. In fact, I just finished doing this right before shooting this video. And I'm looking and saying, yep, looks good. Or hey guys, let's tweak this based on the social media and content that I'm consuming because I see that that's working. So don't ever leave that part alone unless it's not going to be something that's your strength at all, right? And I always say, jump in where you can just to verify and make sure that the things are being done at a high level. Now, under step one, highlight the jobs that don't require you. Only clear instructions. That's key, clear instructions. Because sometimes you hire somebody, they have no idea what the heck to do. They don't know where to start. They don't know what quality looks like. You give them one example, but there's nothing that you're actually monitoring and saying, yep, you meet it. Or not really, let's do this, right? Let's give it another shot. Let's give it 4 more shots. This delegate list is your hiring guide. In fact, here, you're going to call it the delegate list. I should have just named that. Step number 1, the delegate list. I call this step number 1, list the repeat jobs, which doesn't sound as good. All right, step number 2, hire smart, lean roles. This you're going to start to see a lot more as AI takes shape because we're still a few years away from it taking shape and actually doing the heavy lifting that we want it to do. Here's what I put. Start with 1 virtual assistant for admin plus 1 marketing or transaction person. And if it's not somebody that you say is for marketing, maybe because you get most of your business from your relationships, maybe it's somebody that helps you with the follow-up there. And they do a combo follow-up and marketing. I don't know what that looks like. But what you want to do is make sure that once you have this, what did we call it? The delegate list. Once you have that, then you start looking at, okay, great. What does this mean? Is this a full-time admin? Is this a part-time admin? Whoa, a lot of the stuff that I shouldn't be doing falls on the marketing side. Maybe I'm going to hire a marketing person. Outline it first, then decide that, and then use a platform that you trust. I use Vitalis. I have 3 ISAs from Vitalis. And then I also use PowerISA. And I've had that VA, specifically an ISA, for now 5, 6, I think it's going on 7 years. It's crazy. And then the rest I hired directly. So I would recommend, and let me put them in here so you have this if you are in fact going to get this document. Vitalis and PowerISA would be my first choices. And then once you have your crew, whoever that is, maybe 1 or 2, ask them. They have friends, right? You don't have to necessarily go through a company if you have the time and some talented people that can also help train, right? If you don't want to do the training and you don't have the talented people, go through companies every time. Now, you pay by the hour at first if you're able to, and then move to monthly once the quality is proven. I always give a 90-day or less time period. And I say, okay, we're going to do it in 3 phases. There's going to be 30 days where we're going to check back. In fact, we're checking back every day. Then 60 days and 90 days. And I can tell you, we just did 2 hires this last 2 weeks. One of them didn't make it past day 1. And that was not my choice. They just quit. And they quit because they realized how much work this actually is working on this end. I pay my VAs much more than the normal. And the norm, by the way, is like $3. Sometimes 4 if they're lucky, and that's not bad. Well, I usually pay double that, right? So we're looking at 7, 8 in some cases, and it depends what they're doing. I still pay 6 in some cases. I still pay $5 in some other cases, sometimes bonus. So there's a lot of different avenues you can go here. But once you say, this is what it looks like, you're going to go 30, you're going to go 60, and then you're going to go 90 days. If you pass those, and you are in. And I'd recommend one thing here. Once you have this process, make sure that you say you're going to start off at $5.50 or $5, and then I'm going to add a $50. You don't want to pay $50 an hour. 50 cents. 50 cents. $5.50, and then you add 50 cents more. It takes them to $6 at the 90-day mark. This way they're motivated too, right? Now you're giving them a little bit more, and then they're going to perform better. Now there's a lot to this because you're also going to have to be in communication with them often, which is the next step, number 4. But number 3, I want you to plug in AI for speed. Speed, and in some cases, accountability of sorts. Go with me on this one. I wrote down draft replies and social captions with ChatGPT. Then let your VA polish and post, right? Because you do need the human dichotomy to it, right? Because humans think so differently. And you can tell when something is written right now, for the most part, by a human versus AI, especially the lazy ones. You need the human touch. Remember that, because there's different humans write differently for different things, and that's important. All right, so when you're looking at this and saying, what else can I add in this dimension for AI? Well, depends on what you're going to do. If you have your staff writing things, then I would definitely say, well, one of the tools they're going to get is ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. The other thing, if they're posting to social media for you and they're editing videos, maybe they want CapCut. Maybe they want captions. Maybe they want something, and they may know better. Maybe it's Descript. I don't know what it's going to be, but they're going to need tools that can help them do the job faster. And you want that, because if somebody does the job faster and is still accurate because of AI, they're going to produce more for you. So one of the questions that I just started asking is, how comfortable are you with AI? Show me how you use it for your job. Right? And that I see very clearly. Got it. They understand this, or no, they don't. Use AI transcribers for calls, for VA logs, for just a lot of the processes that you have that can be rapidly executed. For example, if you're meeting with your VAs, like step number 4 is, which we haven't gotten there, but if you're meeting with your VAs and you record it, and then you do a quick summary and you send it out to them, these are your tasks. That makes life a lot easier. Right? Now, the last part to number 3, set up Zapier or make.com. So if this person uses Make or Zapier to auto push things, then absolutely amazing. In fact, that would be one of the questions I asked. Are you familiar with Zapier? Are you familiar with Make? And do you know how to use them? And maybe even N8N, which is just an automator for AI. I put here to auto push leads, tasks, and files between systems so humans touch only high-valued work. That's number 3. Number 4, meet, track, and improve. This is the final one, but this is also the most important one and the one that's missed the most. I can't tell you how many meetings I have in a week. And I love our meetings because it tells me where we're at, what we need to work on, what we need to do a better job on, where we're slacking, where the opportunities are, and it brings us all together. And I make sure that, hopefully, for the most part, that the VAs that I have, they know that I appreciate them, right? So we're communicating throughout the day. It's not just once a week. And it's not just me going, oh, that was terrible. Well, what the hell are you doing? It's more like, this looks great. I love this. Or, hey, let's tweak this. Let's reimagine this, right? Whatever it looks like, we're going to do this together and we're going to get better. That's the idea behind it, okay? I hold a 15-minute huddle twice a week by Zoom to clear roadblocks. Now, at this point, because we have so many different staff members, I do have a couple, my 2 teams actually. I have 2 different operations, a director of ops and they run their own teams. So I don't always get to meet with all the team, right? I get to meet with only part of the team here and there, but I do make sure that we communicate in some ways. The team loves communicating in Slack or ClickUp. I love communicating by iMessenger. So the majority of the team is on iMessenger, and they send me things to look at, especially our editors, where they send me thumbnails, videos they're working on. I need to make sure that they look great, or at least that I think they look great, even though I get it wrong most of the time. They do a great job. Just make sure that you have some sort of communication. I put here, share a single scorecard. What does this look like? Start of day, end of day. What are the tasks done? What were the errors found, right? How many hours we used over here? And then my director of ops does an amazing job tracking this. So I would say if this is your first one you're going to hire, make sure they're tracking this, because you can get better at tracking. Once you get this down and you're hiring a second or a third one, if that's your route, you can put that in place there as well. I put here, record simple Loom tutorials each time you teach a new process at the beginning. That's actually what I did when I successfully hired my first two. We met a lot and I made some videos and I said, no, let's do this. And if you're not the one shooting the video, grab examples, but they have to be really good examples so that when things are done according to the example you gave, you don't come back and say, what the hell is this? All right. Build a living playbook. I put here, build a living playbook that future hires can follow without extra training. But I believe in the training. I think that's probably the key thing. Anyway, please click on the link in the description, sign up for the new newsletter, subscribe to this channel if this is your first time or second time or however many times and you didn't subscribe. Darn it, I know who you are. Click that and click the little bell. We'll see you tomorrow.